Hello, and thank you so much for joining me again for Tuesdays with Tuesday. This is Dr. Tuesday Tate, your host of Relationships Rule. I had someone ask me a question about closure, and they asked, do men deal with closure the way that women do? And I said, no, I do not believe that they do. Then they asked, how did you get closure after your engagement ended? And most people that know me know that I'm pretty transparent. And when I'm free, I have no problem with sharing my freedom because that helps other people to be free, right? Sometimes God will allow you to go through things so that you can be a blessing to others. Jesus told Peter, when you are restored, when you recover from your challenge, he said, go and restore your brother. So God will use our hurt in our purpose. He'll use our pain and our purpose to be a blessing to someone else. So do I believe that men handle transition or closure the way that women do? No, they do not. In order to get closure to something, you have to be willing to do introspective work. You have to be willing to look at yourself. You have to be willing to say, what role did I play in this relationship not working? Then you have to be honest enough to say, what did they do? What did I do? And what did they do? Then you have to be willing to say, I'm sorry. Forgive me for what I've done. And I'm not saying that men are not humble enough to say that they're sorry. I'm not saying that men are not humble enough to do the introspective work. But introspective work is an emotional thing. And because women are more emotional beings, it's a little easier for us to take those looks on the inside and examine ourselves. When you meet a man who has done introspective work and he has closure from a previous or past relationship, that will be months and months, if not years down the road, that they're able to say, this is the role that I played. And if given the chance, not necessarily in that relationship with that person, but given the chance to love again or to have a love like that again, this is what I would do differently. It is way down the road. And what has happened is time and experience has taught them. With women, it is the experience at that moment that they want to learn from, and they want closure. I contend, beloved, that a lot of times as women seeking closure, you are a glutton for punishment. You want someone to tell you why your relationship didn't work. What was it about you that they didn't love or fell out of love with, or why we couldn't work? Why do you need that in your ear gates? You're an emotional person. You're going to hold on to those words. Find closure in your closet. Find closure in private. Resolve those issues in private. You may never get that man to tell you what was it about you and why the relationship didn't work. Recently, I actually contacted a couple of gentlemen that I used to, 3 or 4 actually, that I used to date. And I said, tell me, what was it about me that you would suggest I need to improve on? This is no lie, beloved, and I'm far from perfect. I got my own set of issues, real talk, that I'm constantly going to God about, whether it's me as a person or me and my own character issues or struggles. Real talk, I got my own stuff, right? But in a relationship, I'm pretty solid. And that's not to say that I don't do things or I didn't do things. But I called 4 men that I felt would be honest with me. But even in their honest, they wouldn't be brutal to try to bruise me, if you understand what I mean. And enough time had passed that we haven't been together, we haven't been in a relationship, that I could ask them. And they were honest. 3 out of the 4 responded. I'm not sure what's going on with the other brother. But consistently, this is what they said. Tuesday, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. There's no reason for them to lie. We're not together. One of them has gone on, gotten married, unfortunately has gotten a divorce. Actually, 2 of them have gone on, gotten married, and gotten a divorce. The third one, he's still single, but he's solid. We're not friends. We don't talk all the time, but he was honest. And they all said it wasn't you. I just met you at the wrong time in my life. I was scared. They had their own struggles and their own issues. But as a positive critique, they said, one of them told me, actually, they said, you love hard. And I just didn't know what to do with that. You love all inclusive, he said. And I didn't know what to do with that. Another one said, I felt like you asked a lot of questions. He said, but I realized later that you were asking questions because you just wanted to understand me and you wanted to support me. He said, and I didn't like the fact that you were asking questions because I wasn't ready to answer those questions. So it was just timing. So, but this is years later. This is years later. 2, 3, 4, 5 years later that I'm asking these questions. Not because I wanted closure, but I wanted to examine me so I could be better for the next person or the man that God does have for me. So how do you get closure without the person coming to you and saying X, Y, and Z? If that means you need to take a vacation, if that means you need to get into your closet and cry out to God and ask God to heal your heart and to take away the pain, and however long that takes, you do that. I am not an advocate of jumping from the skillet, from the fire into the skillet, or skillet into the fire, however that goes, from one relationship to the next. I'm not an advocate for that. I believe you need to take time to heal so you don't take your junk into the next relationship. And because men do not deal with closure, a lot of times they're taking their junk into the next relationship. Even though they're not emotional beings, they're taking the experiences into the relationship. Their expectations into a relationship, unmet needs, unhealed hurts, and unresolved issues. And so whatever it takes for you to get closure, get it. But if that means you got to do it on your own, do it on your own. If that means you need to seek counsel or therapy, depending on how intensive the breakup was or how it impacted you, do what you have to do. If you need prayer partners, if you need an accountability partner, you just need to go out and talk to your girls. Do what you need to do to get closure and to get your peace back, to get your self-worth back. If you never hear, if you never hear them explain, find it in yourself to love you enough to say, I will not allow myself to stay in this pain and be released from that situation. Girl, go close the door yourself. Go close the window yourself. Go seal it off so that they can't come back and hurt you again. Amen. I pray your peace. I pray that this message on you getting closure, whether he gives it to you or not, he comes alongside to answer your questions or not, you get your own questions answered from within you. God will show you what it was about you. And sometimes it was nothing, or it was so small. It's just that they weren't ready to receive your love. They weren't ready for you. Now, I'm not talking about the crazy schizophrenic bipolar sister that, it is got her own set of issues. I'm talking about a pretty healthy woman that has been hurt and left devastated by a breakup. Get your closure from God. He is the author and the finisher of not only your faith, but of your faith. He has a purpose and a plan for you. And I declare that he who shall come will come, and he will not delay. And I am not talking about Jesus right now. You just get yourself healed and get yourself on your way to wholeness and watch God bring to pass what it is you desire for your life. We love God today, and I pray your healing. And I pray that today you shut the door on your past, because your past can't tell you anything new. Close that thing and start anew. God bless you.